You're listening to the Spice Drive. Welcome to the Spice Drive, Jay.
Hi, good is it evening?
This afternoon.
It's afternoon.
The timings have changed. You know, the show used to start at 3. So now I say, good afternoon, good evening.
I had someone yesterday say the days have changed. Now we are calling it, today is this day, tomorrow is that day.
Yes.
Because we are on holiday, man.
This day, the other day, it's crazy. We're almost like lost in a time tunnel. But we try.
Exactly.
Tomorrow's Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your plans are because maybe you used to go do the Nyamachoma, you go to Naivasha, do something. I don't know what your plans are.
I would have been in church, but I'm going to be home tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's something that, in line with the discussion that you're having, a lot of people are asking where are the pastors,
yes,
where are the religious leaders,
yes,
and why are they staying indoors like us?
Yes.
I will give a couple of points. One,
yes,
Jesus didn't come to bring religion.
Yes.
He came to bring relationship.
Right.
And I believe this corona season and period it's brought out people who have not had a relationship with Christ or with Jesus.
Yes.
And have just been having a religious gathering.
Right.
Because just the fact that we are home does not mean that your faith or whatever it is that you believe in should go down.
Right.
Because if you have a relationship with God, if you have a relationship with Christ,
yes,
the church is you. It's not a building.
So you can have church in your heart. You have to believe it whether
you are the church.
Whether you go to church on Sunday or not.
Well, we are encouraged to be meeting together with other believers. It is an encouragement. We are meant to, but it shouldn't be the one thing that people are pegging on right now. You know, we are not having religious meetings and all that. That's just a whole lot of nonsense. But you need to have relationship.
I understand that, but there's a lot of people who've been conditioned to believe that, my routine, Monday to Saturday or Monday to Friday, then Saturday I go, recharge. I need my dose of church. I need to be around congregants. I need to be at the mosque on Friday. I need to do this. I need to do that. There's people who've known that and have never experienced anything else. And as you know, especially in a country like this, where conversations around the church are very sensitive, right?
Very. Yes.
And a lot of people are not discerning enough to separate the two. And
the two.
Religion and God, you can't separate. You can't separate that to them or to some people, and I know very good friends of mine who believe this, that your spirituality is 100% pegged on the construct of how people perceive you. There are people who are more religious than others. There are people who are definitely going to heaven. If you don't do this, you're going to hell.
If you don't, exactly.
And then the people that question religion or question the existence of God, all right, especially this season, a lot of people are questioning.
I would say this, yes? I was having an argument with, I would call him a religious fanatic.
A religious fanatic.
Yes.
Yes.
He was telling me, why are Christians so scared and afraid, and why are people not meeting? We've seen what Magufuli is doing, encouraging people to go to church.
Yes.
And meet in the wake of all this. I'll give you an example of what Jesus did before, Monique. Remember when Jesus was about to be crucified?
Yes.
His time had not come. And the Pharisees had planned to get him before his time.
Yes.
And that is the period where Jesus disappeared. He vanished from among them.
Right.
Just so to avert their plan. Jesus took precaution. And it's not that he took precaution because he was afraid.
Yes.
And so people who are questioning why Christians and religious leaders are staying home, remember that Christ was God and he was man. And if he could take precaution, who are we not to? And I told this guy, okay, if your faith is so strong enough to, you feel like you're this religious person, basi wende Wuhan, basi ukaekele watu mikono uwaponye basi.
Wow.
And he couldn't do it. God has given us wisdom. In as much as, yes, we are Christian, and yes, we are believers, we are Muslims, and we are all this, there is wisdom that needs to be applied. In the days of Christ, he healed people, but he didn't heal everyone. There were still doctors there who are scientists. So it doesn't mean, oh my goodness, even in the times of Jesus, scientists were there, doctors were there, science existed in those times.
Yes.
We need to take precaution and stop this nonsense of asking why religious people or why Christians are not going to church. Stay home, my friend. Take precaution. If Christ could, who are you not to?
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. However, there's people who understand the good book and use it for good. And then you've got different types of people with their complex and, everyone comes from something. And you find a lot of people lost in translation, especially the good book has been modified based on where you worship. There's different contexts and people take it
different interpretations.
Exactly. And they get to change that. I saw a clip from the 256 of a lady who said, God is going to save me from COVID-19. I'm going to trust God on this one. And you could see that, she is soaking in the pride of, I've got faith in God. I've got faith in my religion and what I believe in. This is what the man on the pulpit said. This is what the good book says. God will cover you. What do you have to say about the people who get lost in translation? Because a lot of that is happening. We've been seeing a lot of hashtags, sponsored hashtags on our timelines of people saying things that are very sensitive because the way I consume information may not be the way you consume information.
Very true. Monique, I believe God has not been, his power to heal and to take this away has not been taken away.
Yes.
I still believe he's a healer. Yes. I still believe he's healing some people.
Yes.
I believe those who have faith that if I've gotten it or if my relative has gotten it and I have faith that God is going to heal them, I believe that there are people who God will answer their faith. I believe there are people who God will meet them at their point of faith. But let's not throw caution out of the wind, saying, like what Tanzanians are doing, that, God is going to heal us. So let's go and put ourselves at risk, Let's just go and congregate because, God is a healer. And, Magufuli said, this body is the body of Christ, so ati ugonjwa ikiingia itakufa. Monique, I believe that is lack of wisdom. It is completely lack of wisdom. God, yes, tells us to believe and have faith as a mustard seed and that we will move mountains, but it also gives us wisdom to see things as humans. We are humans. We are not in heaven yet. We are living right here on earth.
We're living in a society where it's not very easy to say Jesus Christ, God, and to pray without, getting, look at what the Christians are doing. Look at what, the Muslims are doing. Why do you feel that there's a huge population of people today, especially young people, who feel that they have no relationship with God? Because one person is on my timeline here saying, religion is commercial. I would answer it this way. I'd say, you pointed out that having a relationship with God or understanding there is a higher being is different from religion. Right? It's different from religion. Yeah. But why is it that young people today are drifting farther and farther away from the church? Is it the manner in which, the conversation is had about having a relationship with God? What is the issue today with young people wanting or being interested in being associated with the church? What's the problem with that?
I think Monique, I will blame we who have been tasked to preach and teach and prophesy and do all these things. For us who are in the clergy, and this is our calling.
Yeah.
I think the failure begins with us.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people who call themselves pastors who don't even have a relationship with the God that they purport to preach.
Yes.
So if the fish is rotten from the head, the entire body is going to be rotten.
Right.
And I believe there are so many religious leaders and churches that are breaking people. And even in this season, Monique, a lot of people are questioning, where is the church?
Yes.
We are seeing Indians and all these people come out
Yes.
to help and support the people of the church. Yet other churches are still calling for their congregants to pay tithes. I don't have a problem with that.
Yes.
I really don't have a problem with churches asking for tithes and offerings.
Yes.
It is well within their right.
Yes.
But as a pastor and as a preacher and as a teacher of the gospel,
Yes.
I would say this is the best time for the church to stand out and be counted.
Yes.
There are so many religious functions and programs that are on hold. No one is doing missions.
Yes.
That money that has been collected for over years, in tithes and offerings,
Yes.
this is the time to help people in need and stop asking people to send more money. There are people who have lost jobs, yet pastors are still asking money from those very same people.
Yes.
The money and the tithe that has been collected, why can't we start giving this money out? I know there's some churches that are doing this.
Yes.
I'm not putting a blanket blame on everyone, but I'm saying this is a season where many churches and many religious organizations need to stand up and be counted. We need to see you do something. Instead of people saying, look at the Indians are now going to slums and giving out food. Look at the Muslims who are doing. What are the Christians doing? And that is where, Monique, a lot of young people are being broken because there is no connection between the church leaders
Yes.
and the people who who follow them. Because you will go to church with your needs and with your problems, and they'll throw you aside.
It's
And that breaks
unfortunate.
people's hearts.
It's unfortunate and it's heartbreaking. But there is something here that a lot of people argue. They say science and religion will forever be incompatible. You must
Exactly.
choose between the two. And today's treadmill topic is all about that. I'm yet to meet someone who says, well, I understand that they're science deniers. They're people who believe that there's no such thing as science. We were put here on this earth. There's no such thing as evolution. And this is part of God's grand plan. And then we also have people who believe that this whole situation or whatever it is and our existence here is the exact opposite. Do you think science and religion will forever be incompatible? And which side are you on?
I am on the side of both because I believe the scientists have been given the ability to do whatever it is they're doing by God. Everything
Yes.
comes from Him. He is a creator and everything emanates from Him. So the ability and the ideas to come up with a cure, to come up with a vaccine, to carry out operations, all this is enabled by God.
Yes.
God doesn't have to heal you miraculously, Monique, for you to be healed.
You don't need a burning bush situation. Sometimes
No.
it could just be making it to work and waking up in the morning.
He could heal you by you going for a surgery and the surgery comes out successful. That is healing in itself. He has used the hands and the ability He has given man to carry out His purpose.
I'm very
And so
surprised.
science-
I'm very surprised, Jay. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm looking at the timeline here on Spice FM KE, and I am, to be honest, very surprised. It started off as a social experiment kind of question, and I'm telling you, about 80% of the people, when we put up the poll, do you believe in science or religion, or do you believe in God, whichever way you want to put it, a lot of people are saying science. I've got a question here from Levi. It poses a question. Levi Wanjala says, science. It's because of the Europeans. They're the ones who brought us Christianity, and they used it as a tool of colonization. There is that layer of the conversation as well. Right? So what did Africans know before they discovered Christianity, before Islam? What there's so many layers to it.
Even we Africans had our own science. It's only that we hadn't given it a name that it's science.
Yes.
Our grandfathers and mothers would go into the bush and mix concoctions of herbs and here and there, and boom, you have this medicine. Isn't that science?
Yes.
Science and religion and God will always coexist, Monique.
Will always coexist, and you believe that they're not incompatible.
One is above the other. Of course, God is above the other.
Yes, but they will always coexist.
they will always and forever coexist. Science existed in the times of Jesus. It exists now. It will exist in 200 or 300 years to come. Science will forever be there.
I like that. And here we like to keep it real on the Spice Drive. And I wanted to tap into you as a person and just question whether your spirituality, your faith in God has been tested during this time. There's a lot of people questioning what they knew. You'll go to remedy for anxiety, you'll go to remedy for your marital issues or whatever. All you do is get down and pray. And there's a lot of people questioning where to go at this time. What has this season done for you as a person?
Well, these are extraordinary times. I mean, my faith, yes, has been shaken to some degree.
Yes.
Because, the same people who are dying in Italy, they're still God's children, and He still loves them. And it's not like all these things are happening without Him knowing. He knows. But, I'm human at the end of the day. And even I sometimes sit and wonder, and I'm like, God, Kwani, I know you can fix this in a snap of a finger.
Yes.
And I'm human, honestly, I'm human. And sometimes my faith weakens.
Yes.
And in seasons like this, I think people who have been going to church on a religious, trying to carry out a religious function.
Without a relationship.
I think they're going to suffer more. Exactly. I think they're going to suffer more. Because you don't have your dose of worship now at the church. You don't have it anymore. So you have to do it in the house. And if the one in the house is not working out for you, I can guarantee you, Monique, a lot of people after this, more churches will be empty than you have ever seen.
Wow, that is a controversial statement, Jay.
A lot of people are going to fall out.
Right.
Because now they don't get their dose of religiosity. They're not getting their dose anymore. It is up to us, religious leaders and teachers of the gospel, to infuse and teach relationship and not religion to people who follow Christ. We need to go back to that. Building relationship rather than religion.
And the church say it, amen.
Hallelujah. I'm receiving M-Pesa.
Banange, we are not part of any church. We're just here to give the sugar, the spice, and everything nice. Even a little bit of controversy, because you've said a couple of things there that could rub a lot of people the wrong way. But here we keep it real.
And I know a lot of religious people like me do not agree with what I'm saying. But
absolutely.
They know it's the truth. They can feel it in their bones.
But they know it's the truth. Thank you so much.
Deep within, they know it's the truth.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Spice Drive. I really love what you said.
Thank you, Monique.
Enjoy your drive.
Asante, I'm rushing home before curfew.
All right. Oh, my goodness. It's not about religion, really. It's all about the relationship that you have with that higher being. I'm trying to be very sensitive because I know I'm talking to a lot of people here. And on a personal level, it's very difficult to answer these questions. And I always know that children have a way of making us simplify things. When my little one asks me a real question, she says, Mama, when we pray, is Corona gonna go? And it simplifies things. And it's time to go back to that and find yourself and stand in the faith of whatever you believe in. But as you do that, get on our poll, on our timeline on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I want to have this debate and see, what do you believe in? And I know that times have made you question even what you knew. It's hard to come out of the familiar. There's a comment here that says science is based on observation and verifiability. Religion isn't. Science presents itself as the best information to date, and religions present themselves as eternal truth. Science is based on objective knowledge. Religion is based on subjective knowledge. What do you think? Where do you stand